Hey guys, Dr. Ducey here, MTFU Longevity. How are you on this Monday? Question from a friend here. I'll paraphrase. He has a heavy dairy diet. He has asthma. He's getting increasingly worse, worsening mucus production slash problem, particularly at bedtime at night. He'd like to know how he could dry out his system in a healthy manner to decrease mucus buildup. Now Frank is at least my age, and he says he has a heavy dairy diet. There's a lot of holes in this. There are a lot of questions that have to be answered. Uh, are you consuming high fat dairy, low fat, zero fat? We know high-fat dairy is not good. You've got saturated fats, which just aren't good, and you're looking at coronary artery disease right there potentially with high consumption of these products over a prolonged period of time, i.e. your entire life. Low-fat or zero-fat dairy products can be pretty good. They actually help with coronary artery diseases. Obviously, vitamin D for bone health, and even in some cases of type 2 diabetes, it can be helpful. But again, you're also looking at, I don't know a lot of adults who really consume a lot of dairy. When you're a child, a little baby, an infant, maybe up to the age of 5, you still have the gene that produces the enzyme called lactase, which breaks down the lactose in the milk so you can utilize them into the smaller sugars are broken down into. After the age of 5, in some cases that gene is lost. Sometimes it's not lost into early adulthood, and sometimes you don't lose it until you're like my age, 55. And you could drink milk because you always have an outlier saying, maybe older than me, I drink milk all the time. Well, that's fine, but you're not the norm. The norm is you lose the ability to produce lactase, and milk products become unmanageable. And Frank, this might be your case here. You might be, a heavy dairy diet. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe half of what you eat each day is dairy. I'm not sure. You can have something called lactase persistence, which means you just don't lose the lactase. You have it your entire life, and you can do the dairy products no problem. But some of the reactions when you have a lactose intolerance, they range from intestinal upset, cramping, diarrhea. You can go into full anaphylactic shock or even death. That's rare, but it can happen. So obviously, in that case, you know that dairy is not for you. So you really got to figure out, maybe cut all the dairy out for a well circumscribed amount of time and see how your body reacts. As far as the asthma goes, is there a corollary here? I mean, there could be. Um, Asthma is usually known to produce a white exudate or phlegm-like substance. But the bigger problem is when you go into an asthmatic attack, the airways, as you know, tighten up. The lumen close up a little bit. You've already got the mucus in there, so it's kind of like a double whammy. The two effects of the phlegm or the mucus and the closing of the airways makes it very difficult or maybe even impossible to breathe. There's some things you can do: decrease dust mites, make sure your linens are clean, don't sleep with pets. And another one I found, especially when I was in practice with certain people, I would have them lay with their head flat, or actually their head elevated, because laying with your head flat would increase the potential for postnasal drip, and that could throw you into an asthmatic attack. So it's body positioning. So there's a bunch of factors here, but overall, from what you told me, I would say, cut off the dairy for a little while, especially if this is really bothering you. And I know this much. Patients over the years would always come to me and say, my example is, doc, when I do this, it hurts. And I would tell them, well, don't do it. And they would do it anyway. So if you really want to find out, Frank, maybe drop the dairy just for a bit and see if things improve. Always consult your doctor, because I'm just playing one here on video. Let me know your thoughts, questions, considerations down below, because your input is my oxygen, and I do thank you. Please have a great day.